Alrighty, I muted everything during the coin flip, but we have bands, Cats on my Keyboard, Band, Volskaya, and Cursed Hollow. Five fish in a Trenchcoat, Band, Sky Temple, and Braxis. And I believe Cats on my Keyboard won the coin flip and chose first hero pick. And so 5 fish in a Trenchcoat are taking us to Tomb of the Spider Queen. And because I was busy fighting AI, I didn't really do an introduction. So, hey, it's Tin. Welcome, everybody. Division C West. We're going to get into this shortly. And hope everyone is excited for a late night Nexus Gaming Series matchup. And there it is. So, Tomb of the Spider Queen, obviously, we have a smaller map, 3 lanes close together, collecting gems, boss top lane, siege camp bottom lane. So lots of things to fight over. I expect to see these teams prioritize, team fight and zoning and all of that fun stuff. I'm trying to fill some dead air as we're just waiting for the last members to join the lobby. It's not my place to get people in the game, but it looks like Cats on my Keyboard didn't properly name the other team. They called the other team Tomb, but that's the map we're going to. But it is the lobby link for 5 fish in the Trenchcoat. Let me see if I can do a thing. Five fish in a Trenchcoat. Just waiting for website to load. Let's see. Let's see if I can find someone from the team. I don't see them in the NGS channel. Oh, they found it. Someone did. Oh, their name starts with FF for 5 fish. I get it. We found the team. Cats on my Keyboard versus 5 fish in a Trenchcoat. I keep glancing over at my other screen so I don't forget the team names. Cats versus fish. Keyboard versus Trenchcoat. We do have Portrait Synergy on the side of Cats on my Keyboard. It looks like they're going with Mr. Bigglesworth, if I'm reading that properly. And on the side of 5 fish, we have a little bit of a smorgasbord, but we'll see if that affects the game at all. my guess is no, even though everyone says portrait synergy is the number one important thing you can do. All right, well, if I go to this, these teams obviously haven't matched up before because this is only week number 2. So I can't give you anything there. If I go to the divisions, it looks like these teams are on equal standings in the divisions, same tied score, so hopefully it'll be a close, exciting match. It looks like someone's cat is holding them hostage and delaying the start of game, so give that cat a penalty and put it in the penalty box, because hockey is the only game I know penalties for. Give it a red card if you like football. And hopefully your lives are more interesting than mine. Say something in chat if you have any thoughts or opinions or what's the word I'm looking for? Premonitions? Not correct. Predictions. That's the word I was looking for. Predictions about what's going to happen in this game. Here we go. Going into the draft now.
Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Alright, here we are in draft for Tomb of the Spider Queen. Cats on my keyboard versus 5 fish in a trench coat. And I believe I even have them on the right side. Smoke commenting on my casting banter. I don't know what that means, so I'm not going to share it with the world until I'm sure it's a compliment. Coming out of Koala for Cats on my keyboard, we have the first ban, taking the full amount of time to think and plan for their team. And we are going to see Sylvanas. So none of that extra push power with the objectives, with those black arrows, none of that free camp clear, or if you do get a big wave, just shutting it all down for a while, so taking her right off the board. She also does good hero damage. So. Conversely, Anubarak, also good at pushing with a few extra little minions here and there, taking tower shots and things. So. Taking that tank off the board. So I know at least Smoke is here. I have no idea who else is watching, but welcome. Hope you enjoy. I don't predict a Cho'Gall, but I don't know these teams as well, so maybe. Probably not game 1. That's more of a game 2 kind of plan. You get the first win and go Cho'Gall. Rhaegar is banned out, and we're going to see Johanna banned out, almost guaranteed. Not 100%. Some teams have let it through, but my prediction, if I'm going to make one prediction, is that this ban will be Johanna. And 5 fish, wanting just to prove me wrong, bans Diablo instead. So, opportunity for Johanna pick up early for Cats on my keyboard. But do they prioritize it? Do they have some secret gentleman's agreement to not take it, or ladies' agreement, as the case may be? I think the captains are both of that persuasion. No agreements, no nobility at all. Just take the power where you can. Johanna secured for Cats on my keyboard. Does 5 fish in a trench coat have a Johanna busting strategy? Are they going to take out Kel'Thuzad, Varian, and what's her name, Morales, all who have extra damage to shield talents? Or do they have some other plan? Anduin, Blaze. Anduin with his leap of faith, good for saving people about to die. Blaze, good for slowing down the team, lowering their damage with either his oil spill or flames, and a bunker for peel. Alternatively, it could be an offlane Blaze, who still has all of those abilities, just not with the main team. Brightwing and Vala picked up. Brightwing typically prioritized on big maps, but has that instant polymorph. I almost looked at Vala's talents. It's a bit early for that. They haven't picked talents yet. But Vala can build a number of different ways to prioritize single target or AoE or even auto attacks for persistent damage. So good support DPS no matter what your other DPS is. Diva's banned out now. My guess is that's a scouting scouting choice. They probably looked at Cats on My Keyboard and saw a Diva player, and Diva can be hard to kill and be super annoying. So just get rid of that. And Leoric. Leoric capable of doing good double soak, definitely good at minion clear. Good on any map in my opinion, but definitely on this one. And he is gone. I think that means that Cats on My Keyboard is expecting main tank Blaze as they're banning an offlaner, but we'll have to see. Another sip of water. I go through so much water casting. Super healthy. Tychus and Hanzo. So there's your DPS. Good blow up, as long as you're not blinded for the Tychus. Hanzo, again, can build multiple ways, but all of them do a lot of damage. Squishy if he's not careful, but the Anduin can help with that if he does get polymorphed out of position. So, last two picks coming in from Cats. Rexxar and Junkrat. Rexxar, solid offlaner, definitely can take camps by himself, can solo bosses in some cases. There is a boss on this map, but not typically taken here. Usually you see him on Dragonshire where he's far away from the team and can just sort of use his two bodies to his advantage. So we'll have to see how that works. And Junkrat can get some good vision around the points to deny turn-ins and secure his own. So definitely a good zoning tool for those objectives and for bosses as well. And Tyrael, another good boss control. You could have offlane Tyrael, you could have offlane Blaze, they could rotate back and forth. We'll have to see how they choose to play it. It's not 100% clear. Tyrael, typically considered a tank, not typically considered an offlane, but I've seen it, I've played it, it's fun. He just doesn't quite have the wave clear that you might like. But he can definitely hold a lane. So, that's going to be the draft for game number 1. Just going to take you to the map screen while we load, because good practice to switch scenes. But, you know what, actually? Let's go right into... Whoa, computer's messing up. Just so you can see the lack of portrait synergy for the loading screen on the side of 5 Fish and a Trenchcoat. If they do lose, that's something they'll have to look at, I'm sure. Mr. Bigglesworth on the Cats on My Keyboard, all lined up. Valera, I'm going for all the casts in our division. This is how I scout. No, I'm just kidding. Just trying to get some under my belt, get some practice in. But here we go. On the blue corner, in the blue corner, we have Cats on My Keyboard with Ghost on Junkrat, Koala on Rexxar, Dusk on Vala, Apple on Brightwing, and PJ Red on Johanna. In the red corner, we have 5 Fish in a Trenchcoat, all stacked up, so it's hard to read their names. We have Zombie Boss on Blaze, King Carry on Hanzo, Uwu Fitting on someone, Nick the Brute on Tychus, and Samsonite on Anduin. Uwu was on Tyrael, excuse me. And we have all of the beast ups and sprays that you can possibly want. Not quite sure what that's about, but it's not my place. See if that tilts Cats on My Keyboard into making a mistake. We do have simple geometry for the Scattershot build out of Hanzo. New habits for Blaze. Auto attacks for Vala, who didn't get any stacks in that whole fight. Blind build from Joe. Rotation up through top. Easy prey for Rexxar. Justice for all for the shared shields, so it looks like he's going to be with the team for the Tyrael, and the Blaze is off lane. Quarterback for the extra range that Tychus doesn't deserve, and Hypershift. So, interesting level 1 choices. Some of them pretty standard, other heroes have lots of choices. But they're locked in now, can't change them anymore. These teams have stopped brawling, denying Vala some of those possible stacks, but also denying Hanzo his. It's kind of unfortunate for Blaze that the other team is rotating through 2 lanes, but he's trying to stack globes, but he only needs 15. He'll get them eventually. As level 3s are here, we have Rexar taking the camp mid, and Junkrat looking at bottom, but Fivefish is nearby, and he's not going to do it alone. He does put a trap down, or mine down, so if Fivefish tries to take it, he can deny it, at least for a little while. As Rexar just about finished, able to heal his pet up, doesn't take any real damage, and his team can push that camp in. While that's pushing, I anticipate or expect Rexar, if he's doing camps, to go bottom and take that bottom camp. But he does show in lane, so it's not going to be a surprise. Blaze is well aware of what's going on, but the team has to respond to mid. So, with the Junkrat trap and support, I expect that bottom camp will go over as well. Good night, Valera. Junkrat just holding off Blaze while Rexar finishes this camp. Mid camp just cleared up, but now bottom camp is a problem. And the Experience League, because of those camps and the rotations, going on the side of Cats on a Keyboard. As both teams have 43 gems, so it looks like none have really been missed. But not quite a turn in for either one. Rotation onto Tyrael up top, but he's Tyrael, he can teleport. Should be just fine. Meanwhile, Junkrat a little far forward, but the team not punishing. Does get stunned. Takes a ton of damage from that Blaze, who just armors up and walks out, but does get booped. But here is the Tychus with the huge damage. Brightwing comes in for the save, and Rexar just has to hightail it out of there. Big team fight bottom lane. Misha almost goes down. Root comes in onto the Joe, so she only condemns one person, as this camp is almost cleaned up. So a big skirmish, a lot of damage, no kills. Misha in a bit of trouble, goes down. That Blaze twin damage lined up. But Misha did buy enough time for Cats on my Keyboard to get their turn in. And we're seeing even more pressure coming in the form of giant ruby spiders, or I guess sapphire spiders if they're blue, but crystal gemstone spiders. Misha anchoring very far ahead, just denying any of those minions from coming close to the towers. And the spiders land. Clear comes in mid really fast, and the push comes in to the top lane. This is the boss lane. Typically where you want to have the most damage. You can use bosses to push in and possibly end the game later on. Big boot back for Tyrael, who does get polymorphed and isn't able to teleport out. Only catches one with his trait, lowering his death timer by a little bit, but that is first blood going over to Cats on my Keyboard, as this objective almost cleaned up. Bottom did get the wall, but 7s for both teams. A little bit of a reset, and they'll be good to go. Hanzo did go explosive arrows, so able to clear those waves relatively quickly. Much faster once he gets piercing arrows, if he chooses to take that talent. Meanwhile, Rexar pushing very, very hard. Didn't actually touch Blaze, so the tower didn't hit the Misha until all the minions are dead. But getting as much structure damage as he's able to. Respawn timers for camps in 35 seconds. Fivefish in a trench coat haven't taken theirs yet, but they're getting their gems turned in. Blaze does have 22 that need to go in, as Cats on my Keyboard doesn't get interrupted at all. Tyrael does come in, scout it out, throws his sword, but it's a bit too late, and 31 gems are turned in. But 31 is not 55, and so the objective doesn't go over. Just need that Blaze to get his turn in, and 5 Fission and Trenchcoat will have theirs. But maybe they want to hold off on that, as heroics have come in for Cats on My Keyboard. Unleash the Boars, Falling Sword, Riptire, Blink Heal, and Rain of Vengeance. Falling Sword gets used, Riptire gets used, but just a little bit of poke damage, nothing too serious. Falling Sword didn't catch anyone. And that's 2 heroics down for Cats on My Keyboard. I just heard Misha, I guess that was down here. Does get that Blaze Slow into Blaze Stun, but only gets him down to half, not really a kill with the team not around. Just a zoning bore, I suppose, as Cats on My Keyboard try to get their second turn in. It is denied this time. 5 Fission and Trenchcoat really would like to get their Blaze to get his turn in, but Misha is pushing him back pretty far. We have a big engage onto the Joe. The shields are down. Brightwing does get the phase shift just in time. Joe super low. Vala also very low, does get shot by both a grenade and an arrow. There's the Falling Sword into the back line onto the Tychus, who does get polymorphed. Super dangerous to go in on Tychus when you're that low, but with the follow-up CC, he can't actually do his damage. Light Bomb comes out, as well as the Dragon Strike, but does not connect. Enough to force Cats on My Keyboard back. They're trying to get Blaze to get this turn in. The Junkrat bombs were there. Riptire's there. He does have to turn around. As that's a big... Well, it looked like maybe only a 2-man Riptire. With the Tyrael shields there, not going to be a big difference. But Junkrat is getting his turn in. The Scatter Arrow did not find its way. And 1 gem needs to be put in. Vala does get her first 50 stacks for her first bonus, as Rexar does turn in bottom. Odin still hasn't been used. Looks like it will be used for the defense. Bunker still available, and Sanctification. The only ults we haven't seen just yet. As level 13's not quite close, so it's going to be an even talent tier defense. Hanzo starting bottom as it's pushed up right to the fort. Should be cleaned up fairly quick with no minions behind it. Top, however, being pressured fairly hard. That top fort should go down. Blaze is defending bottom, and again, no minions, so bottom will be just fine. The chase comes in onto the Rexar. The Brightwing is there to save him. Even the Misha gets out alive. Misha not really being focused as they wanted their Rexar. But there's a fairly healthy spider. Ooh, I heard boars, and there's a Falling Sword. There's the Rain of Vengeance. Tyrael in a bit of trouble, but does get pulled out by Anduin. Riptire's there, but the teleport, he was just staying as long as he could before getting himself out this time. He is hearthing fairly far forward. Junkrat's just going to cancel that. And he's going to hearth from a safer position. No problem there. Top still not quite defended with that whole fight going on, and so they do lose top wall, which is boss lane wall. So if Cats on My Keyboard finds himself a boss later on, that opening up will be very, very important. Blaze still alive, still has his 30 gems, still needs to get them turned in. Might even consider just killing himself so that his teammates can pick up the gems and they'll turn in, because he's always in the solo lane. Not exactly what I'd recommend, but it's a strategy. Can't have good strategies without bad strategies. Here come the boars. Here's the Falling Sword. Right on top of Blaze. They want him bad, but there's the Sanctification and the Bunker. Both being used. Blaze is very safe. Dragon Strike comes in. Does do a bunch of damage, particularly to the Brightwing, who eventually blink heals herself out. And this fight is not over. Trap comes in, hits Tyrael. Tychus doing as much to take down the minions as he can. But it looks like another successful defense with no deaths on either side. Johanna wants more, but she's taking tower shots. The Root and Polymorph do come in. and Anduin gets booped back and killed. Fighting under the fort, not really willing to say no, but meanwhile Blaze did sneak away, finally got his turn in, and red team gets their web weavers. Anduin is up in 18 seconds as these gems are filling. They will take a little while, but Anduin won't be up for the start of this push. In fact, Cats on my keyboard is counter pushing as the objective comes up. Riptire takes out the minion wave with Tyrael in it as he was stuck. The Tyrael explosion does connect onto XR, who is taking fort damage, and with that 20 armor reduction goes down. They do take the fort, but now it's 4v4 with spiders. I updated the stream, I swear I did. Oh, apparently I didn't. I will fix that momentarily. Okay. That's your update. It's not perfect. I apologize. I thought I had done everything, but I missed one. Don't worry, the VODs will be right. Big falling sword comes in onto Nick in the back. Tychus does walk out with the Anduin healing. And now Joe is in a bad spot. Does use the unstoppable. The light bomb is there, but doesn't connect. Oh, and the blaze charge just as it was running out does connect, but to an unstoppable Joe, and there is no stun. A couple ults used there, but again, no kills. Low killing game, as Cats on my keyboard does get their third objective. Don't make fun of me, Maestro. I'm new at this. The push comes mid lane. 16 advantage with web weavers. This keep is not long for this world. This fort, sorry. And I anticipate a few keep walls going down as well. Push seems to be prioritizing top again. Not too surprising. As the defense does come in a bit slow. So these minions going right up to the keep. But there's a big charge. There's Odin. Falling Sword comes in. But Blaze kind of caught out, is the first to go down. Misha goes down second. Health bar is very low on the side of Cats on my keyboard. Odin just prioritizing the spider for now, but could start targeting that Junkrat maybe. Does force the team back. Hanzo gets booped very far over the wall, jumps over, but gets condemned and exploded. So that's 2 kills, 4 Cats on my keyboard for none. Misha, so a half a kill, quarter kill, whatever Misha's worth. That's a decent trade. And Tychus does go bottom to clear out the spiders, but meanwhile, top keep likely to go down. There it goes. So that's 1 keep down for Cats on the keyboard, but 16's here for both teams. 8 seconds for Hanzo to come up. 5-ish do have gems for a turn-in. We'll see. Rexar looks like he wants to take a camp. These lanes pushed up fairly far. You don't want to rotate too far out there. And 5-ish in a Trenchcoat just going to have to deal with Junkrat. But Blaze has 69 gems. Nice. Is the only one that needs to get anything turned in. And there it is. They zoned off Junkrat just enough. And it'll be a siege camp versus 3 giant spiders.
Descend, my daughters. Descend and destroy the blue team.
Spiders starting right in front of the top keep, as 5 members are sieging in, and the spiders just taking truckloads of damage. Misha also taking truckloads, but she will respawn. Boars come out, Riptire comes out, Blaze does get that unstoppable, Falling Sword lands on the Blaze, he bunkers out. This time they're not overlapping those ults. Sanctification is available. There's the light bomb, but the root was there and kept him back. Dragon Strike comes, doesn't really do too much. There's the Sanctification. They want that Hanzo. No, sorry, the Vala, the other archer. But health bar is very low. Anduin gets spooked back. Unfortunately, that dive yielded 3 more deaths on the side of 5 fish in a trench coat. The siege giants did take out the spider's bottom, but a big wave got pushed in, and that's going to do some decent fort damage up down here. As Joe goes for the wave clear. All of Joe's abilities do pretty decent AoE damage on those minions, and they don't get too much. Camp being taken, possibly for both sides. Hanzo just wants to scout out, make sure that they're not going to be invaded right away. But just because you're not invaded right away doesn't mean the invasion can't come. Brightwing not leading the charge. They're going straight to boss, I would guess. So Firefish will get their camp and have time for their last 3 members to revive. But the fight is now over boss, and Cats on my keyboard have 20s. It is scouted out, but with the traps in the way... Oh, Blaze does decide to just go right in for it. Tyrael does go onto the point. Falling Sword to fall. But... Oh, there it is. The point was very contested. It was a valiant effort, but with those 20s, Falling Sword used twice. Not quite enough. Tyrael did have the Holy Ground to go for the steal, but I'm not sure if it was the Junkrat Mine or if he just didn't quite land it. Didn't get the channel. And now with 5 dead, Tyrael did get a massive cooldown reduction on his death timer, but with 5 dead and the boss, this core is going to implode in just a moment. Sanctification comes out, doesn't work on the core. Core not invulnerable, and that's game 1 to Cats on my keyboard. It was a valiant effort on the boss, but down 3 levels. If they had taken it, it would have been a good comeback. It was a risk they chose to take, but it didn't work out in this case. I mean, it was close, but what are you going to do? You can't win them all. So that gives 5 fish in a trench coat the option to have first pick or map pick. And as soon as I know what they pick, you'll know what they picked. Rexar, the only one to die on his team. Although a lot of that was Misha. I don't know if Rexar actually personally died. I don't remember. But death's pretty evenly split for 5 fish in a trench coat. They're nothing if not team. Working together, I approve. The healing, Brightwing did so much more. That is something they're going to have to look at, I think. I mean, there was a lot of blow up and team fights that didn't last very long, which obviously contributes. And Brightwing just passively heals everything around her, so that is a factor. But Blaze landing exactly 10,000 experience. Nice round number. Tychus doing a bunch of siege. Junkrat doing a little bit more. If I look at the talents, I don't know what I'm looking for, but we did have the auto attack Valor with the Manticore and the Fireflight Quiver. That's a hard... once they hit 20, it's hard to fight into that. The Heaven's Fury definitely got a cooldown reset, which did a lot of work. Johanna and Rex are both taking the same talent at 13. Just by existing, they do more damage. Interesting. Still waiting for the next map. Aside from Sanctification, this is the Tyrael build I do like to go. No, I don't take the armor. I like to go full damage, but the cooldown, just to teleport around, it's a lot of fun. I don't know if it's good, but I like it. Hanzo did go for the piercing arrows. Unfortunately, the game sort of ended when they were around 17, so didn't get too much use out of it. Okay, it looks like we're going to Battlefield of Eternity. And first pick is on 5 fish in a trench coat, which makes me think that the map was picked by Cats on my keyboard. So Battlefield of Eternity, 2-lane map. We'll see if they pick their XR again. I doubt it, but I've been wrong before. Obviously prioritizing that Immortal clear. You're going to want, like, that Hanzo is going to do very well. Vala also can do very well. So we could see some of the same picks. But there were a few fights there where both teams looked like they were about to die. So we'll see if these teams can adjust and bring it around. But look at that portrait synergy. Oh, you can't because you can't see it. But they have not addressed the portrait synergy. So that's my best advice. Yes, if Tyrael had gone Judgment, there would have been more justice in the match. It's true. I have let the teams know that I am ready. The teams will let me know when they're ready. The teams, at least some of the members are ready. We're getting some battleship memes in chat. I approve. But only I get to see that. None of you do. I'll be selfish and keep these jokes to just the 11 of us. We are starting momentarily. As soon as Blizzard learns to start the game when you push the start button.
Battlefield of Eternity.
All right, Battlefield of Eternity. 5 fish in a trench coat get first pick, which also means they get first ban. Which means if Joe isn't banned, they'll have the opportunity to pick her up, which for the most part of the game, I wouldn't say Joe made a big difference, but on that one last boss team fight with the Falling Sword coming in twice, definitely showed value. And we'll see if Sir Sean Sheep is listened to, and if we get the Genji or Maiev in this game. I don't know if these teams even play them, but I don't know which team he's cheering for. But Brightwing is banned out. Definitely a common pick on this map with the lanes far apart. Help your solo laner stay alive from a gank or gank the opponent. Good for, coming up for a camp steal if the opponent's solo laner is doing it by themselves. And Joe just taken right out of the game. You don't want to give that over to your opponent, at least until she's nerfed in the next patch. Which, fingers crossed that she is nerfed in the next patch. Fingers crossed that there is a next patch. Matlock, is that a fat joke? Are you calling Joanna fat? Because I wouldn't disagree. And there is a new Brack band out, another big chunky boy. I'm only referring to the size of their hitbox if anyone is curious. And second ban coming out of Cats on my keyboard. I'm noticing Ghost is banning, not Koala this time. I'm not sure if that was, if these are a democratic team and they switch captains every game. I don't know. But Rhaegar banned out. was super powerful last patch. A little less powerful now, but not even a second passes and Vala is taken away. Vala taken away right away, changing teams onto King Carry. Vala being notorious for being a hyper carry. We'll see if King Carry can pull this off. Anduin switching teams as well, and Diablo taken. Diablo getting a slight buff in this last patch. Nothing too crazy, shouldn't break the game, but definitely seeing a lot more play these days. And I will reiterate, I was talking about the fat size of hitboxes. Diablo's is fairly large as well. And I don't want to hear any jokes about sexy Diablo. Ever. Muradin, Lucio picked up. Muradin, possible going that Sledgehammer for that extra race. Lucio to counter the Diablo with all those tight quarters with the Shadow Charge. I'm expecting to see a high 5. Second wave of bans coming through. This is the most alive my chat has ever been. So thanks everybody. Hanzo. You could have taken Hanzo. Their auto attack race characters already locked in on the side of 5 fish and a Trenchcoat. But I guess just not letting them have 2. Only 1 archer per team, per game. I don't know. Are we going to see a Rainer, or an Artanis? A Rainer. And Matlock looks like he just made a friend with Self-Control. Interesting name. You two can both talk all you like about Sexy Diablo somewhere else. Junkrat and Sonya both taken. Junkrat looking more like a comfort pick for Ghosts rather than a map particular pick. But those traps are super annoying. Sonya, pretty solid offlaner, always has been. If the one time my chat is active devolves into a Diablo is sexy discussion, I will be very disappointed. Greymane and Artanis, the final 2, the offlaner and the, I guess you could call it more melee DPS. So a whole ton of auto attack damage and a whole ton of immortal race coming from the side of 5 fish and a Trenchcoat. Even the Muradin, that's 4 decent racers versus, so far, a Sonya. I anticipate all other things being equal, there's a Lunar. Still, the race will go over to 5 fish and a Trenchcoat if Cat on my keyboard doesn't do something about this. And what they do could be macro-based with camps. It could be teamfight based, but the race definitely looks like it's favoring 5 fish and a Trenchcoat. But that'll be the draft. Don't know if anyone's going to swap characters at the last second, but we head into the loading screen. Matlock, I won't say what you just did, but I wouldn't recommend. But now my mind is wandering, and it's going places I didn't expect it to go. And you're taking people down with you. Well done. All right. I see Silver Spy's computer has made its way into this match, loading slower than everybody else. Silver Spy, a person on my team who used to have the slowest computer ever. He has since upgraded, but we still give him trouble. And here we go. Starting in the red corner, we have 5 fish in a Trenchcoat with Samsonite on Lucio, King Carry on Vala, Zombie Boss on Artanis, Nick the Brew on Greymane, and Fitting on that Muradin, that M-Dwarf. In the blue corner, Cat's on my keyboard with Sonya on Koala on Sonya, in fact. Ghost on Somebody.
4,
Junkrat.
3, 2,
Dusk on Lunar. PJ Red on Diablo. And Apple on Anduin. For talents, we have Slam Build for Sonya. We have Feast on Fear for those stuns for Diablo. Same talents for Junkrat, Lightwell, and Sentinel Wisp. Good to have all that vision. Versus Third Wind, so Muradin going to be able to back out and regen like Phoenix does. Amateur opponent to be expected, Wolfheart, Party Mix, and Puncturing Arrow. The flip and the charge does come in. The boop comes in, but it's Muradin. He jumps out just fine. Gets that hammer just for the extra disengage. And with that Third Wind, as long as he doesn't walk into those bombs, will regenerate all on his own. And meanwhile, top lane, Artanis getting pushed back just a bit by that Sonya. Very exciting offlaners. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Waves Crash. 5 Fish into Trenchcoat being a little bit safe, not going too deep. Muradin trying to bait out a flip or something. Top lane, just poking at each other. The slams coming through. Junkrat is good, but Muradin had the jump. As long as he's not jumping in, he should be able to just back up and heal. That Lunara poison super annoying. But his Third Wind comes in and he's already back up without any real healing. He goes onto the point, gets flipped and charged, and rooted. So he loses a ton of hit points, stands on it as long as he can. Poison comes through from Lunara. He's looking for a heal, doesn't get it, slowly bleeds out. Just as his Third Wind kicked in, he needed 1 more second and he would have been fine. So that is an unfortunate series of events for Muradin there. Diablo only going to get more health as his souls go up. Meanwhile, Junkrat does rotate top to clear the wave, while Sonya is taking camp. Artanis kind of alone versus 2. I missed the Diablo kill, I apologize. It does scout out the camp, but alone there's not too much he can do about it. But his team did capitalize on the Diablo kill in the meantime. It's 2:18. That means time for camps. Muradin looks like he's scouting out the rotations for cats on my keyboard. Doesn't actually stop to slow them down. No point taking unnecessary damage. And camps taken by both teams. Artanis still trying to clear out these Khazra. With the help of his summoner camp, he should be able to. But, oh geez, I'm missing everything. Looking too much at the offlane. Sonya doing a very good job to push that Artanis back. So camp still pushing bottom and top. So that's going to be roughly equal as 5 Fish, the Diablo, and the Junkrat looking for that defense. The traps just zoning back the team. Muradin does eat it into the boss stun. That is hyper unfortunate. The Junkrat boop does come and stun 2 more in the boss. So that Junkrat definitely getting value. I'm not sure if that exact boop was planned, but it was perfect. The life grip does save the Diablo for a couple seconds, but the damage comes through from the Vala. And the race is on, but the defense was there long enough that it looks like Cats on my keyboard will get the first immortal, but it will be close. That race very strong from 5 Fish in a Trenchcoat. They almost brought it back. Both camps did eventually get taken out, but the bottom wall taking a lot more damage for 5 Fish in a Trenchcoat. As Sonya is already there for the offlane. Artanis rotating down, and the defense coming in. Muradin jumps in, misses the hammer, and just backs out. Trying to push the team back a little bit. The Junkrat trap catches the Lucio, who does get shadow charged and flipped. Made a somewhat awkward rotation, does have the heal, does have the tap. Poison would have killed him without any healing, but he has enough. Muradin gets flipped and charged. Should still have... no, he goes in for the ghost. Does eat a couple of those bombs, but not enough to die. Gets rooted, however, and is killed himself. So, a 1-for-1 trade, but they were down a bit in experience, so that benefits 5 Fish in a Trenchcoat. Meanwhile, bot lane, Sonya still doing damage to those structures and getting value. Matlock does love his Muradin. Says there's no such thing as unnecessary damage when you're a third win Muradin. That's true. You can just walk out and recover. But with the team rotating down, we have Cats on My Keyboard pushing in on the top fort. Artanis did come for the defense, but alone versus 3. Well, he does get a swap. Towers are attacking that Diablo. Diablo's super low. They can't hang out forever. Lunara is starting to take hits. Artanis does have that light well for a little bit of extra healing, even though his team isn't around. But with this wave, Artanis can't defend this forever. And it goes down. The root's there. The flip is there. But the team just disengaging as they took the structure they were looking for. Bunch of damage does come onto the Diablo, and the Hungering Arrow is enough to secure the kill. We did see Puncturing Arrow and Monster Hunter, so Hungering Arrow does hit a couple extra times, or one extra time. With the Vault, you're going to get a few more of those. Meanwhile, only 3 members still up here for the camp. It is enough. Are they going to cap it? There they go. To push the team back. Muradin does join the team, and Lunara pays the price for sticking around a little too long. 20 seconds and 10 seconds on the mid camps. As these immortals are in defensive position, you do have time to take that camp. Diablo getting dismounted, but Fivefish and Trenchcoat choosing to just go straight for their ace. And look how fast they shred that immortal. It's gone in, what was that, 5 seconds? Of course, it was the double vault, all their abilities used, but with the halftime, those abilities will be back, and this should be similarly fast. Wait for them to stun, they go in. Takes a couple more seconds, as Greymane doesn't have that inner beast, but in the time it took Cats on My Keyboard to rotate in, the immortal was taken. Greymane did get traded out as they just focused down the immortal, but it is a full shoot immortal. Artanis gets a swap into 5 members. There's the leap, there's the light bomb, there's the apocalypse and the shadow charge, and Muradin pays the price for Artanis thinking that they could get a swap onto the enemy team. They did get the swap, but maybe not the best time for it. Artanis goes top to soak, and this immortal with no heroes here to really support goes down fairly quickly. Shield's down, it does get the wall. The gate still alive, but both towers go down. So that gate defenseless, just push a minion wave in, it'll just die for free. Shadow Charge Overpower does come in, Lucio does boop back. The Junkat Mine pushes Vala over the wall, but... or maybe that was Greymane, sorry. Someone got pushed. Vala is on camp, so it wasn't her. And everyone's just fine. Kills 5 to 5, experience 11 to 11 and a half. So these teams in a very similar position. Looks like Fivefish and Trenchcoat considering the invade, but just chooses to take the wave instead. With the immortal just going down, there is time to clear this up without losing any value. But the rotation onto the bottom camp, it wasn't quite cleared fast enough. Diablo trying to walk in, does get stunned out. Shadow Charge too late, but there's a light bomb, living apocalypse, and Riptire. Tons of damage going out, tons of stuns. Diablo does get pulled out. There's the Artanis blind, actually confirming the kill from across the map, from downtown. And Lunara just barely escapes. Nope, there was a Hungering Arrow. Lunara doesn't barely escape, and that is 3 kills for Fivefish and Trenchcoat. They trade out their Greymane, and Diablo is back with 25 souls, but he is not quite as tanky as he used to be. Those Vala arrows are definitely getting that last little bit of value, catching those kills. But the race is on. No defense really from either side. Muradin just kind of looking, but Fivefish and Trenchcoat has that massive burst and is going to win every immortal that just gets raced. Which is why Cats on My Keyboard now is looking to fight, except they're down 13s. The Junkat Trap does land on the immortal and does nothing, essentially. Meanwhile, Vala alone does get shadow charged and overpowered. The blind is there to prevent her getting killed, but there we go. The Lucio with his sound barrier does prevent all that poison damage. Meanwhile, Sonya doing a little bit of damage bottom, but that immortal is taken. And I guess I should have mentioned some of these heroics as the chase is on. Because we did not see High Five. We saw Sound Barrier, Rain of Vengeance, Cursed Bullet, Suppression Pulse, and Avatar. On the side of Cats on my Keyboard, more straightforward Leap, Apocalypse, Riptire, Light Bomb, all of the stuns. And we've seen that combo being used very effectively, and Greymane goes down yet again. The Muradin Hammer does come through, mitigates a bit of damage, but he just has to try and get away. So the Immortal pushing by itself, and Artanis pushing bot lane. So once again, the Immortal does go over, but the team fight afterwards kills off some of their damage. So 5 fish on a 5 fish in a Trenchcoat doesn't get quite as much value as they would like. Muradin does get overpowered, but jumps out. And top keep takes a bunch of damage, but will survive. Meanwhile, bottom keep, Artanis has time to kill this, and looks like he'll be able to rotate out as well, as Cats on my Keyboard are focusing top lane. They were rotating down for the gank, but Muradin being annoying enough kept them up here, and Artanis is able to get out safely. Diablo does Shadow Charge in, overpower onto the Muradin, just in case there's the blind, as Sonya leaps in, but the camp was already taken? Yes, it was. So all those ults kind of used sort of for nothing. Suppression Pulse, low cooldown, Leap, not too long. But if they'd been a little sooner, maybe could have made a bigger fight of that. And now they just have to defend. Artanis is here, don't want to push out too far into a solo lane, and top keep goes down. Shadow Charge again on the Muradin. Avatar immediately popped. Light Bomb used, and Muradin just walks out. Doesn't even use the Dwarf Toss. As both teams go towards their respective camps. Bot's camp is still available for contestation. Five Fish does not hold theirs, neither does Cats on my Keyboard. They could have held it for a little while. But it looks like both teams want to fight over bottom. So, super dangerous. Both teams at 15. There's the Apocalypse, there's the Riptire, and the Sound Barrier just in case. But that is 2 ults used, and they only gave up a camp. That's not too bad. There's a huge push bottom with both camps, but that means you only have to clear one thing, one area. So Artanis doing that. Not a lot of AoE on his. Meanwhile, Vala and Greymane getting some damage alone, but they're pushed off the point, and Lunara is able to race by herself. Artanis just cleaning this up. The main minion is gone, so maybe could rotate out. Lunara just doing her race, and look how long it's taking her by herself. Much more than the 5 seconds it took 5 Fish in a Trenchcoat. Poke damage coming in onto Ilarion. The big Shadow Charge onto the Lucio, overpower in the boss stun. Leap from Sonya, there's a Light Bomb, there's a Suppression Pulse to just buy time. The boss stun is there. Diablo goes down, Anduin goes down, Sonya goes down, Greymane cleaning up, and that's only halftime. Junkrat booping himself aggressively forward, not going to get chased down, is just going to hearth out, as Lunara does pick up the Vala kill. Meanwhile, she does get stunned by the Muradin, but gets away. However, that is Ilarion being taken down as long as they don't stay in a stun. Artanis, that's... how much life do you actually have? About 200. Being a little bit scary. They do get the Immortal with about half shield. Levels are 17-17, 16s have come in. Yeah, everything looks normal as far as I'm concerned. We do have Stone Form from Muradin for a little bit more sustain. And the Bush Gank from Cats on my Keyboard. Looking to catch someone. They're looking at that bush and just like, I don't want to get close to that. And they're there. There's the flip, there's the Riptire, and Greymane goes down. Light Bomb was used. No APOC yet, still available. Greymane seems to be the focus every single time, as he's almost always the first to go down. Keep Wall goes down. Some keep damage, but the Immortal is cleaned up. Meanwhile, top keep Wall perfectly healthy for 5 fish in a Trenchcoat. And cleaning out these catapults, and looks like they're going to go straight to top camp. They do have the ability to clear this before Cats on my Keyboard get there, and so Cats on my Keyboard says, that's okay, we're just going to take this fort. Even up the structures a little bit. And there's no way 5 fish on a keyboard can contest this, so they're just pushing down on keep. Excuse me. Greymane is alive, as these members from Cats on my Keyboard are hearthing. And we'll see if this becomes a sustained fight, or if it's just get the push that you can and back out. Leap comes in, APOC comes in, Vala does skirt the APOC, is killed off, stays alive a lot longer than I thought she should have. Lucio triple stunned by the Diablo. Greymane does take out the Lunara in the meantime. Artanis phases forward and unfortunately gets stuck in a root. There's the swap from Artanis. Does give him unstoppable. There's his shield, but eventually he goes down. And Greymane just has to run. The big stun from Muradin, buying time for that, as 3 heroes go down in exchange for 1. And with these death timers, they will not be up in time for the initial Immortal race. So this could be an opportunity for Cats on my Keyboard to get an Immortal of their own pushing. They do steal away the camp. That's sort of the victory prize from killing 3 people. As Junkrat looked like he's just going to push in a wave, maybe take out this catapult. Greymane cleaning up the camp, doesn't get too much value. But the race is on. 18 more seconds for Artanis. But the ults are down for Cats on my Keyboard, so this could be an opportunity to engage, as Cats on my Keyboard is split. And these are defensive positions, so there is time for Artanis to come back. Just some poke at the moment. 20s are here, and ults have come back for Cats on the Keyboard, so this is their fight to lose. But again, just poking in. They don't want to fight too deep under the Immortal with those stuns. The traps just to zone the team back. And it looks like halftime will go over to Cats on my Keyboard, and Artanis just trying to soak up 20s for his team. The root, the double root, the boop, and Muradin stunned out. Not Muradin, Diablo stunned out, so he doesn't get those charges, and Muradin's just fine. Muradin did pop Avatar, perhaps a little premature, but wants to be extra safe, and is just going to soak up that 20. There it is. And we do have Acrobat for the extra vaults for huge, huge damage from Vala. There's 1, there's 2. There's the Apocalypse, Riptire, and tons of damage coming out on this Diablo. There's the blind. Diablo goes, teleports out, doesn't go down with his level 20. The demon gets out, and Vala immediately goes straight to the Immortal. And look how fast they can burn this down. By the time Cats on my Keyboard gets to the Immortal and Muradin defending, their HP has evened up, and 5 fish in a Trenchcoat picks up another one. That insane race that they drafted definitely paying off. But they will eventually have to be able to push in and not let these Immortals push by themselves. Uh, 20s we did get Rewind, Plasma Burn, Hunter's Blunderbuss, Summer Anthem for the Unkillable, and Acrobat. I can never time this properly to get any value out of it, so hopefully their Lucio is better than me. We did get Ignore Pain, Hellgate, which we saw, Cannonball, Censure, and Intensifying Toxin. Swap comes in onto the Sonya, Curse's Bullet. She's pulled out of the boss stun. That could have been deadly. Artanis did use the blind there, as this Immortal is getting low. It didn't have a huge shield. Muradin is booped over by the Junkrat. Jumps over the wall. Riptire comes out, but Junkrat pays the price, and Muradin doesn't get caught in those explosions. So 1 kill And Muradin does jump in for more. There's the stun. There's the possible rewind. There's the APOC. The leap. All the stuns in one place for both teams. Greymane desperately needing a heal gets one. And their team just walks away. So no extra kills, no core damage. But the attempt was there. So good aggression. With the advantage, they're going to take the camp. All those ults used on the side of Cats on my keyboard. They don't have APOC, they don't have leap, they can't just go in again. And so that's the time for Cats on my keyboard to pick up some value. And with that camp, it looks like they're going to push in. They do have 18 more seconds for Junkrat, who has been super annoying landing those traps and concussion mines. And these teams just go straight in. With that Immortal burn, you also get pretty good structure burn, and both keeps down for Cats on my keyboard. Camp just going to get cleaned up. That camp doesn't do much on core anyway. As 5 fish in a Trenchcoat splits up 4 camps. Artanis going alone is going to get scouted by that Wisp. Maybe? Vision doesn't quite overlap. Well, now it does. But the team of Cats on my keyboard is not choosing to go there. I think they anticipate 5 fish will be joining their Artanis, and it will be 5v5. Meanwhile, they're just going to clean up this camp, and they don't want to lose too much lane position, as eventually those Kajas will pick up catapults and push in on core. Posturing around mid, there's the Wisp for vision, there's traps for more vision. Cats on my keyboard does have that vision advantage for getting the right engage. Diablo sees the APOC, gets on that Greymane. Greymane not pulled out, there's the light bomb. And there's the blind. Greymane completely destroyed. Big damage coming out on both sides. I don't know which team's going to win this fight. Muradin. Artanis does get a swap into the back lane, but that's not where you want to be. And Artanis goes down. Big camps pushing top 4 or 5 in Trenchcoat, but they did lose 2 members. Ghost Hearthing right in the middle. Going to go back and deal with that. So it is 4 versus 2. As Vala is racing. Lucio does get slammed and killed. Meanwhile, on core, Junkrat was there in time. Has the mines, so the catapults and such can't actually deal damage. Vala pushing it as hard as she can. Does dismount the... the Diablo would have dismounted the Lunar if she knew how to ride a horse. But the Muradin does take that triple stun, jumps out. But all the poison damage was there. And Muradin goes down as well. With 4 members down, this is the chance for Cats on my keyboard to finally take an Immortal. Will halftime be enough for 5 fish in a keyboard to come back? They are clearing this very slowly, especially in comparison to what 5 fish and Trenchcoat do, but they do have Sonya warding. She would be a lot of damage. But they don't want anyone to come in and get any poke. Vala did just show bottom, so Cats on the keyboard has an idea of where she is. But these are offensive positions. Junkrat mines just pushing the team back. There's a Diablo. That could have been an opportunity for a charge, but not knowing exactly where the team was, they don't quite have the vision that they did before. Lunar is pushing by herself. Muradin still hasn't spawned. And these teams do not want to get too close to that Diablo, landing all of the shadow charges. And just being super annoying. Those Junkrat traps are pushing people back. But with the race almost finished, Greymane does dive in. Vala dives in. They get a bunch of quick damage, lowering that Immortal shield. Meanwhile, Cats on my keyboard does have to go back. They do have catapults in every lane that have to be dealt with. So that will mitigate how much they can push with this, but it is a late game Immortal with a shield. It is entirely conceivable they could take keep and with some kills, this could be the game. So 5 fish really has to play this smart and play this safe. Not get caught by like a flanking Diablo or something, which is why Muradin checked that bush. Maybe his face was not the best thing to use, but doesn't get punished. And all the burn comes through, shield's already down, and the Immortal's down to half before the team even gets here. So this keep may not even go down. Sonya coming, that's Junkrat, excuse me, coming in for a flank, gets some bombs in, and the Immortal's gone. That burn definitely paying off. They do lose keep wall, but that's it. They are down one level, 23 to 22. It's 4% more stats. But, oh geez, that's a bush gank. Don't go that way, no! Greymane is unkillable! Not quite unkillable. Lucio did his best. Does pop the sound barrier. But in the back, Vala just picking up all the damage. Gets 2 kills of her own. I think her vaults are all down, but that's her burst. And Muradin wants more. Does he land a stun? No, he's slowed down by the Lunara. And Diablo is the new target. That was a hero Vala moment. King carry living up to his name. And 3 members dead. Diablo back up, so it's only 2. 2 for 1. Maybe not enough to quite end the game, but it's enough to steal a count. As Cats on My Keyboard used all their ults except Leaping Strike. Well, are they going to end the game? They're going to give it a shot. That tower took a lot of damage somewhere. Unfortunately, this core is super annoying with those roots. Going straight in for the Vala. Taking a ton of damage, but that healing is there. The leap doesn't connect, but the core takes down Vala. The unkillable not there. Lunara Muradin gets rooted, so Lunara escapes, and Lucio goes down. Catapults did do a ton of damage, just barely missed the Diablo. Junkrat damage coming through. Artanis will not be long for this world. Muradin gets out. So 3 members die on core. Sonya goes down in exchange. They did reset Diablo's souls, but he's back up to 67. Lunara going in a bit low. Avatar's popped on Muradin. Greymane being charged again. This time doesn't go down. This game is spicy. I'm just going to refresh my Twitch because I'm not sure if chat's died. Nope, it's still going. Just no one's talking very much. As the burn comes in from Cats on My Keyboard. Again, 24 seconds for Artanis. Looks like they will be up for the halftime, as this Lunara burn is not very quick. She did take Nature's Culling. It's just by herself, it takes a while. No camps being taken by either team. We'll see where these Immortals choose to battle next. Will it be defensive positions? No, it'll be mid. As Cats on My Keyboard goes straight for the race, and Five Fish goes straight for the defense. Muradin lands a good stun into the boss stun, so Diablo is taking a ton of damage. But Vala just goes right into the backline, dodges the light bomb. Here comes the Junkrat Riptire. Junkrat's very low, but that Riptire made everyone low. Junkrat didn't take the reset, so that would have been a good reset, and that might have turned the tide. Meanwhile, Five Fish and Trenchcoat are going straight to Immortal. Lucio and Muradin defending the boss stun does buy them some time, but the leap comes in, and this time the race, they used all of their abilities on the team fight. The race isn't quite enough. Muradin stays in as long as he can. Third wind does keep him up. But that's an Immortal going over to Cats on My Keyboard yet again. Muradin does get charged. Does he have a leap? It might have been interrupted there. He is able to just walk out. And there's the third wind. So Muradin stays alive. Shield is very low. Diablo going for a very aggressive bush. Looking for that flank. Doesn't have APOC, but Light Bomb is available if he gets a Shadow Charge. And the team is now here, so no free defense from Five Fish in Trenchcoat. Meanwhile, just a quick peek. 3 catapults on core. As long as the blue team can't hearth, they're going to take some core damage. The big engage onto the Vala this time, as she and Artanis go down. The keep is down, and the Immortal's still fairly healthy. Meanwhile, blue core at 50%, so this may come down to a core race as hearths come through. Ghost does get out. Jeez. The Unkillable comes in, the Sound Barrier comes in, as these teams just trying to stay alive. Greymane Poison is there. It does confirm the kill, as the core is at 22 versus 7, 11. Can they? No. Oh my goodness. Whew. that was a very close core race. One or two more catapult shots would have confirmed it. If Junkrat hadn't hearthed out, that was game. So it looks like Cats on My Keyboard pick up game number 2 and win 2-0 in a very, very tight game. Just barely. I wouldn't even mind going back and seeing the replay of what that core defense looked like. Let me see if I can find a interview. That's the word I'm looking for, from Cats on My Keyboard. That was a completely crazy finish. I don't know what else to say. Just that whole game was super tense, super close. Just asking if I'm not getting any feedback about the interview question. So, oh, there we go. All right, looks like we're going to get 2 people coming in for an interview. I'm not sure which 2.
Hi.
Hello, we're joined by Koala and Ghost.
Hello.
GG's on the 2-0 victory. How are you feeling?
Still a lot of adrenaline. Very
Yeah,
close.
it was pretty close there. Throughout the whole game, it was super close. It was a great
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, they definitely drafted the race to win those immortals. I think they got halftime in 5 seconds. But you were definitely winning those team fights.
Yeah, no, they destroyed us on that race. I wish we had a little bit more damage on it. So, and they played that comp really well to win the race. So, good job to them. Backs against the wall, felt like, towards like the whole game.
Yeah.
I didn't actually see. I was focused on the team fight at the end. How close were those catapults to finishing the core? It was 7%, but like, were there still catapults around?
Oh, no. So, Junkrat, so I got the hearth in time to push. Oh, it would have ended. If one of us didn't hearth, the game would have ended. There was at least 1 or 2. There was at least 2 katas that would have won them the game. So,
Yeah.
we needed someone to hearth quick. So, I know I went, and then there was miscommunication. Sonia came, or Koala came right after me. So, but yeah.
I saw that hearth like in the middle of the team fight just get off, and I was pretty surprised. Like,
I didn't think. Yeah.
I didn't think it went off. So I just panicked and went back to. I don't know. There was so much going on at the end.
Yeah, no, if somebody auto attacked Junkrat on that last exchange, I think they win.
yeah, I thought so too. It was that close of a game.
Yeah, yeah.
What are your thoughts on game number 1? How do you feel you played that one?
Go ahead, Koala.
That one felt really strong and clean. We really like Tomb, and we've gone there a lot, so it felt a lot more comfortable than the second game. If we had to do map pick, we were gonna pick 2, so we were excited to go there.
So you got a freebie when they picked your map?
Yeah, felt good.
That's nice. I wanted to ask about the Junkrat, the level 20 talent. You didn't take the Rip Tire, and on that team fight, on that I think the last Immortal, you hit like a 5-man Rip Tire, and the whole team was at like 30 to 50% health.
Yeah, no. I think that was really good, especially if you pull it off. And we were going for a wombo, so the idea of getting resets is like highly likely. But you know, like one team fight where that kata dies, and some of my katas weren't hitting, like I was getting interrupted or something like that. So the cannonball or whatever, I feel like it's more consistent, but I'm not hard set on doing the talent build I went. So either one or both strong, especially in team 5v5s and stuff.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to ask about that because if you had picked it, like that probably would have ended the game.
Yeah.
I don't have any other questions. If you have anything else you wanted to point out or say or share or shout outs, the floor is yours.
All you, Koala.
No, you'll say some more. You can help. But I think that was our first domination ever in NGS.
How old is your team?
This is our second season.
All right, well, congratulations for that.
Thank
I don't think that's true. I think we got one last season. It's been a rough start,
okay.
tough road. But
Well,
yeah,
it's definitely our first this season.
yeah, there we go. But yeah, it was good to get the dom, and it was a close game. I mean, shoot, I think if I got stopped from Hearthing, we'd be in game 3, and I'm sure that game would have been awesome too. So thank you for casting. You know,
Yeah,
really
thank
appreciate
you.
what you're doing.
Yeah, you're welcome. I was actually hoping it would go to game 3, just for more to watch because it was super close and super fun.
Yeah, and I guess a shout out to Five Fish in a Trenchcoat. I mean that game right there might be the craziest NGS game we've had. I mean, I know we're a new team, but I think that one right there might have been our closest game. Probably one of the most fun, kind of back and forth. So
Yeah.
good job to them giving us our best game we've had, I think.
Yeah, when it comes down to a 7% core race, you had a good time.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, shout out to teammates, and glad we're doing what we're doing and getting better each week. So that's all I got to
Yeah.
say. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, congratulations again, and have a good night. Thanks a lot.
Good night.
Good night.
Alrighty, friends. Well, that's the end of Heroes of the Storm NGS for tonight. I don't think there are any more late games scheduled. So thanks for hanging out. I hope you had a good time, and we'll have to catch you next time.